UFC Atlanta. These are the full card predictions and the betting breakdown. I'm looking forward to talking about each of the matchups on this card after seeing the fighters on the scales. So make sure you guys smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe, turn the post notifications on. Make sure you share the video too. And also note, I'll be live for the entire card Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Don't miss the fight companion. I'm looking forward to it. You should be too. And let's get into the first fight of the night. The ladies are going after it. And all week, I've been picking Jamie Lynn Horth. She's way bigger, right? Naturally a woman's flyweight versus Demopoulos. Taking the fight on short notice, moving up in weight. It's not like she's the biggest girl at 115 and she has this treacherous weight cut. She's 5'2" with a 59.5-inch reach. Simply, she should just be outsized in the matchup. I think Demop's length, Demop's even ability to outmuscle her in the grappling positions just being a lot larger. I expect Jamie Lynn Horth to impose her will on Demop, okay? I think Jamie Lynn Horth is able to strike her from long range, kind of make Demop chase kind of wildish shots because she does have some decent little overhand punches and she's got a bit of pop. She's not like a knockout puncher, but she rips power shots. I think she's going to have a real hard time landing them on Jamie Lynn Horth, as big as Horth is. And I expect Horth to have a like wrestling, grappling advantage. Maybe in like pure gi jiu-jitsu, Demopoulos would have a shot being a little bit more technically sound on the mat. But ultimately, in this fight here, I can't favor the side of Vanessa Demopoulos. Okay, she's 5'2". She's a damn women's strawweight, and she's fighting on short notice against a full-size Jamie Lynn Horth, who on the scales looked pretty good too. I mean, you can look at Demop and say, oh, well, she looks in pretty good shape. I mean, she does, respectfully. You got the face off already. I'm jumping to the gun over here. But, you know, it's not like I'm looking at Vanessa Demopoulos and thinking, yo, 125, that was the move. I'm thinking she didn't cut weight. She's, women's strawweight fighting at 125. Simply put. And she's on short notice. And then I'm looking at Jamie Lynn Horth, and I'm like, she's shredded. She's cutting down to 125. She's a big girl. If she decided not to cut weight, kind of big enough for 135 if really need be. Demop, hell no. This is one of those mismatches in size. And you can see with the face-off, to be honest, the energy I'm getting from these ladies is like the start of a little Leslie Corno, if you know what I'm talking about. That's the vibes I'm getting. Are you feeling it too? Ultimately, okay, the pick is Horth. I think she'll dominate her, okay? You understand? It's going to be a domination. She's going to look like a dominatrix out there. She's about to handle business. I got to take a sip. She's going to handle business. Jamie Lynn Horth should get a 30-27. I'll say decision. Demop's tough. I mean, maybe Horth's size could open up a submission opportunity, but Demopoulos has good jiu-jitsu. It's just different weight classes. That's it. Size difference. There's a reason there's fucking weight classes, and there's another reason that I don't think Demop should be at 125. She's too small for this class, 100%. No doubt about it. No 5'2", 125ers for the most part, besides Andrade. 6-1, minus 600. Wow. So if you're, looking to play Jamie Lynn Horth's line, you know what I'm saying? You're not getting much. Plus 425 for Demopoulos. The pick is Jamie Lynn Horth. I get it. Some people love to dog chase, but there's just like underdog calls that I think are senseless. And I'd be shocked if Vanessa Demopoulos can go out there, beat Jamie Lynn Horth. Like Miranda Maverick had a fight with Jamie Lynn Horth and she couldn't finish her. And Maverick is fighting the co-main event. Maverick's jacked and strong. It's Horth decision all day. Over most likely hits at minus 350, but Horth decision, it's what makes the most sense, but it's terrible at minus 245. Does she pull off a submission at plus 600? I don't think a knockout is happening. If there was a KO here, I think I'd be more shocked than anything. Nah, to be honest, I'd be most shocked with Demop finding any way to win. But if Horth got a knockout, I'd still be pretty surprised. It's not like she's a heavy hitter. I'd expect that grappling pressure and some striking attack could be live. But there are 2 sub wins for her. When's her last sub? Her naked choke. It's not crazy to go for Jamie Lynn Horth by submission. Like if you're a fan of the D-Gen side, and you're like, dog, I want to bet the first. For some reason, you just can't resist betting the first fight of the night between the ladies. Maybe your life's on the line or some shit and you need money fast. Maybe you're going submission and you're chasing it because I think it's a possibility that Horth does land the submission. Let's see. The spread for Horth, if she dominates, is minus 150. 229.28 to 130.27 will do you in with the W. I think it's live. Minus 150 better than minus 600. That's for sure. But yeah, the call is going to be Jamie Lynn Horth to handle business as a gigantic favorite against Vanessa Demopoulos. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card. This is a special fight. We got Phil Rowe versus Ange Loosa. I'm going Phil Rowe for the W. Phil Rowe is my savage dog lock for this card. Do you guys understand what that means? The plus money seems to be, I think, on point. I think it's the money call. I really think that Ange Loosa is average at best. Not saying Phil Rowe's hyper elite, but he's got incredible length. He's got a massive height and reach advantage. And honestly, his boxing chops are solid. Phil Rowe's smooth with his hands. He's got a good jab. He can follow it up with a nice straight. He's pretty accurate. His grappling skills are good too. Competes in jiu-jitsu. Has been on the mats with Gordon Ryan. Obviously, he got fucked up, but yo, it's Gordon Ryan. Phil Rowe's good everywhere. And he gave Neil Magny a damn tough fight 2 years ago, year and 11 months, I think. A year and 11 months. So I'm looking at Phil Rowe, and he jumped off the page at me. I'm like, what is Phil Rowe getting slept on for? I'm like, Phil Rowe's going to catch a W in this fight, guys. I think Phil Rowe is going to go out there and put a good performance on. Luce is going to look to tie up, back him up, but he's going to have a hard time with that stiff Rowe jab and that length advantage. And if they hit the mat, I think Rowe's jiu-jitsu is good enough to deal with Losa's top pressure. Losa, he's strong, but he's not like super efficient with top control or offensive wrestling. I have yet to watch an Ange Losa fight and be like, actually like, wow. I'm like, okay, he beat McGee in a close decision or a clear decision, but there was moments of uncomfortability for him. And Rowe's faster with his hands and better than that and longer. He beat AJ Fletcher, who got released from the UFC and is losing fights on the regional scene. Munir Lazez out kickboxed him a few years ago. Gabriel Bonfim obviously outworked him. One thing about Losa, I'll give him credit though. Tough dude. Tough dude. Tough dude. Takes a good shot. Strong. Conditioned. Does get a little tired though round 3. He puts kind of a hard attack on in the first 2 and then weathers. I think Rowe can nab 2 and 3, even if he struggles a bit in round 1. But if he's able to find his range early, I think he can connect with big shots to Losa's chin. But I do think decision for Rowe is really what I'm leaning towards is the official method of victory prediction. But why chase anything else when you got plus money straight on the money line? Now we got Ange Loosa. Motherfucker is jacked and shredded though. Respect to the intense physicality. Losa is absolutely in phenomenal shape each and every time. Dude is stacked with muscle, and he looks terrifying. Then we got Phil Rowe looking lean, looking mean, looking shredded, looking ready for warfare. I'm telling you, man, there's a good vibe around Phil Rowe this week. You'll see when I bring up the face-off. You're going to say, no way. You're going to be like, yo, I'm seeing what you're saying, man. Oh, shit, that's a leaked pic of Phil Rowe. Yo, what is that? The expert in Rowe, is this real? Not that chubby, bro. Chill. For the lock, I had something special, man. For the lock, listen. Look at the savagery, bro. He's got something in his hand. He's got a thing of Smarties in his hand. He's having a great time, all right? Let me get the actual face-off, all jokes aside. And nah, I'm not that fat. If you've been watching the fitness check-ins on Friday, you know the physique's looking crazy right now. But look at the face-off here. Talk about craziness. Look at the fucking size difference. I got a middleweight versus a lightweight. If you squint, that's what you're seeing. If you squint, that's what you're seeing, bro. The size difference is unreal, man. I don't think Losa is going to be able to bully Phil Rowe anywhere. He's an underdog that I think has a damn good chance of winning. Big size advantage, which is a huge factor. Like, Losa's got the muscles, but we have just the bigger man in Phil Rowe. I think Phil Rowe's hands are pretty sharp, too. And I'll predict that Phil Rowe goes out there and handles business. I'm going to take Phil Rowe as my savage underdog lock for the card at plus 135. The odds have gotten wider. I'm surprised by that. Because I thought the weigh-ins, I don't know, like All Energy is like, yo, Rowe should be able to tune him up from outside. I think Phil Rowe at plus 135 is more than live. Loosa minus 155. Listen, simple, simple. I think it's going to be a Phil Rowe W. Over 2.5 rounds is minus 240. Looking at Rowe to win a decision is plus 250. Rowe, if he got a KO, it would be plus 550 and sub plus 675. The way to call it is Phil Rowe decision if you had to, but just go money line. For those that are not crazy about throwing heat down on the money line, if you think Rowe's going to make it a close fight, it's minus 250. I think that's also a fucking lock. I believe my pick is a lock. Don't get it twisted. But if you're like, yo, I'm not sure, but I think you can make it a dog fight. Well, listen, you got a spread there. It's minus 250. It's chalky, but it's better than fucking nothing. But I'd rather go money line, underdog, Phil Rowe. I believe in my guy. And the odds looking pretty good at plus 135 right now. And I feel like Phil Rowe is being underestimated just because Ange is an intimidating force. Like, bro, he's 10-4, Rowe's 10-5. It's like people act as though maybe this is like prospect on the come up versus weathered veteran. I don't think so at all. Phil Rowe for the win. Let's keep running. Next fight. We got Ricky Simón versus Cameron Smotherman. This is a short notice fight for Smotherman, replacing Charles Jourdain. I was disappointed about that. I was hyped for that Jourdain-Simón fight, but irrelevant. My pick is going to be Ricky Simón to beat Cameron Smotherman. Listen, I think Smotherman's got potential for sure. His hands are pretty legit. Defensive grappling's not bad. Did have a lot of trouble with the range of Seri City, but it's a completely polar opposite matchup. City is a long and rangy kickboxer. Ricky Simón is a pressure boxing / wrestler style. And Ricky Simón also has fucking takedowns for days. I don't think Smotherman can deal with Simón's pressure / wrestling threat. And I just think the inexperience will tell all in this fight. I think Ricky Simón's going to be accurate with takedowns, but excuse me. I think Ricky Simón either way, even if it's striking, I think Ricky Simón can definitely box with Cameron Smotherman. I think he can rip him with big shots in the pocket. And I do think he'll time some takedowns here. And I don't know, Smotherman on short notice, I get it. He's staying in shape all year, but, you know, there's still a fight camp versus not. And I'll assume that, you know, Simón's conditioning is top notch per usual. And I think he could outwork Smotherman. When you look at Simón's losses, dude, you have to put respect in them. Song Yadong, Mario Batista, and he lost to Vinicius Oliveira. 3 badass fighters right now. I mean, say what you want about Mario. He just fucking handled business against Patchy. And he gave Mario a way closer fight than Patchy Mix did. Simón was a dog in that matchup. Went into the 5th round with Song. Goes 3 hard with Oliveira. Yeah, he loses. And then he knocks out Basharat. A clean kickboxer, the wrestling pressure boxer, chins violently. Don't tell me Ricky Simón's past his prime or he's not extremely live to dominate this fight. He is. Now, I'm talking as if the odds are minus 125. No, the odds are really wide. Ricky Simón is a big favorite for a reason. But let's check out Cameron Smotherman, training partner of Adrian Yanez. He looks okay on the scale, you know, in decent enough shape. You know, he definitely had a cut on him. Doesn't have crazy muscularity to his frame, but could also be the light and killing it. But normally he looks all right. I mean, Smotherman's fit. Then you got Ricky Simón. He's looking pretty shredded up, in great shape, as expected. I think Blonde Simón is like a new mythical fighter, man. I think his career has been reinvigorated. I think the win against Basharat has given him a lot of confidence, and I'll anticipate Ricky Simón to handle business. There's the face-off. I can't go with the youthful prospect that has proven nothing at this level. Cannot happen. The pick is going to be none other than Ricky Simón to go out there and to handle business, landing key takedowns, winning key boxing exchanges, and just simply putting on a good fight. 4-1 odds for Ricky Simón, so they've actually come down a bit. You know, if you were watching throughout the week, it was like 5-1. So the odds are a lot better now. Plus 300 for Smotherman. I think Ricky Simón should dominate here. I expect a hard-fought decision win. The over 2.5 rounds at plus 105 surprised me because I feel like decision makes sense here. Like, Simón has melted people, to be fair. Could he submit Smotherman and wear him down? Absolutely. Simón by submission, what is that? Not great. Plus 250. KO plus 250. And decision plus 170. I think the over at plus 105 is actually not a bad value at all. Money line for Ricky Simón at 4-1. And then let's see, is most takedowns landed? Oh my God. Simón most takedowns landed. Minus 3,000. Ooh. And there's no significant strike props. And I don't give a shit about the spread in this fight. Nothing really catching the eye. Simone's submission or decision minus 160. I mean, when you knock out Basharat, you got to at least put some respect on the hands because he definitely can land hard. I think that Ricky Simón handles business against Cameron Smotherman. I'd say no doubt about it, to be real. I think that he goes out there and outpaces, outworks. And I think Smotherman probably fades a little bit come round three with Simone's relentless attack. I'm curious what Tapology is. 92% going Simón. Makes sense. Ricky Simón, he beats the decent prospect in Smotherman. But yeah, I think it's a Ricky Simón fight. A lot of experience versus a lot less. Next fight on the card, really good flyweight fight. Cody Durden versus Jose Ochoa. All week I've been picking the side of Jose Ochoa. And, I must say, for a guy that's 0-1 in the UFC, to be a favorite against Cody Durden shows the belief also in Kavanaugh. Leonard Kavanaugh is a damn good prospect. And Jose Ochoa was in that fight. I mean, he hurt Kavanaugh to the body in round two. His striking is good. He's a shoot the box Diego Lima prospect. I think his jiu-jitsu, defense, and offense both are going to be on point here. Cody Durden has solid wrestling pressure and takedowns, and his boxing is dangerous. Like, he definitely can mix it up with hands, and he brawls well. He was doing pretty good against Bruno Silva before getting caught, but to be fair, seeing what happened to Bruno Silva in the next two, that fight hasn't aged well. And then last fight, Durden was getting pieced up by Joshua Van, which that's fine because Joshua Van is an amazing prospect, and he's fighting Brandon Royval. But ultimately, an 0-1 UFC fighter, normally I'd be like, no, bro, Durden's the guy. But this kid, as soon as I saw Ochoa tape, and this is when it was the damn Macau card, and I was watching him, I said, yo, this kid's got a future. I couldn't pick him against Kavanaugh. It was like Kavanaugh's that prospect. But damn, Jose Ochoa has UFC future. I don't think that he's going out there and getting dominated by Cody Durden. Durden, dangerous for sure. Wrestling threat is real. He's scrappy with the hands. He was a pro boxer too, to be fair. So he definitely does have boxing chops. But I think Ochoa is the sharper kickboxer. I could see Ochoa threatening with some type of front choke, some type of guillotine, anaconda, darce, as Durden shoots. I don't know. Ochoa's got the build that tells me he's nasty with a darce, man. And being at shoot their box Diego Lima, I feel like the offensive jiu-jitsu attack, especially in a counter attack, as a takedown's being attempted on him, I think it's a live method. Not saying it's a lock method, but I think Ochoa could end up nabbing a sub here against Durden. And his striking looks sharp. I think he could crack Durden with big punches. And just because Durden survived against Van, he also ate a ton of shots. He got knocked out 2 fights prior. I think that we could see Ochoa hurt Cody Durden on the feet as well. So to me, I think it's going to be a Cody Durden, dog tough fight early. But then he's going to wither a little come round two, and Ochoa is going to take the fight over. And whether he's able to get a finish or not, I say it's the hardest part about the pick. I do think Ochoa can win 2 out of 3 rounds, taking the second and third. But I'm telling you, that sub threat is live to me. I'm seeing a possibility of the sub threat. But let's look at the scales as I'm ranting and rambling about the sub threat. I'm getting excited, bro. I want to jump to the damn odds. Ochoa's fucking ripped. This motherfucker takes this fighting shit very seriously. The guy is in pristine physical condition, looks fucking intense, okay? And then on the opposite side, respect to Cody Durden coming in shredded. Listen, Durden's a friend of the show. I like Durden. He's a good dude. I'm picking against him. You guys know. Just because I'm cool with you, I can't just pick you. Shout out to Durden. He's a savage. He's come on the live stream before. And, in any other fight for the most part, I'm picking him against an 0-1 guy in the UFC. But Ochoa is a special talent, man. And I think Durden's going to struggle. I think Durden puts up a dogfight early. I expect heavy wrestling in the first round. I think as round 2 and 3 comes around, you're going to see Ochoa start to take the fight over. You can see the face-off between the two a little side-by-side to see how the frames look. And I'll see if I can get another angle of the face-off going as we scroll through. But if you really look, man, at the side-by-side, all right, Ochoa, I'd say an ever so slight muscularity advantage. Nothing major, but you can see the delt, the fucking bicep shreds. Durden's in good shape for sure, though. Both guys fit. They got intense in one another. Cody Durden, pulled Ochoa's hand as he went for the shake and was like, oh, damn, we got to fight now. It's going to be an intense matchup. But I think Ochoa's the guy with more talent. He's got the higher ceiling. Durden, always a tough out in this UFC flyweight division. But I think that this Ochoa kid is going to be here for the long run. I really do. I believe in the shoot their box prospect. And I'm going to say that he beats a tough OG and Cody Durden in this matchup here. Now, looking at the odds, plus 152, Cody Durden, an underdog, whereas Jose Ochoa, minus 177. He's an unproven near 2-1 favorite. I'm not sitting here and arguing that at all. I think the money line odds are rough. And, I'd much like it more if the odds were flipped and Ochoa was a dog. Let's see. Ochoa opened at plus 155. Immediate line flip, though. Over is minus 115. It's a scary over because I'm telling you that Ochoa sub does not seem crazy. Plus 375. The odds are going down on this Ochoa sub. It was up at plus 800. Now it's plus 335, 375, excuse me. I feel like Ochoa catches Durden in something in the second round. Ochoa wins in round 2, 5-1, 6-1. Mystic macking it. You want to go sub? This is mystical shit. Ochoa wins sub round 2, plus 1,200, plus 1,400. I got a feeling he's nabbing up a damn submission. I do. I think he's pulling off some type of sub. Fuck all this shit. Fuck these numbers. No, I'm not looking at spreads, nothing in this one. I think that Ochoa is live to finish. Now, if you were going to play the spread on the Durden side, I guess I'll bring that up for the people like, yo, but I think Durden makes it close. You got minus 130 if Durden is to make it a fairly competitive fight. Does he? Does he win a round? I think there's a real chance he gets subbed because the way Durden fights is like blistering brawl. Like his style is not like, yeah, he's gone distance a lot, but lately, especially his style is to bang. And if he can't land the takedown, he's going to walk into shots. And even with the takedown threat, I think the counter front chokes, like I'm saying, submission threat from the front headlock position, Ochoa live to lock something tight up. So I'm going Jose Ochoa to handle business here against Cody Durden. Let's keep running up the card. Next fight, we got Malcolm Wellmaker versus Kris Moutinho in what is the essence of a squash match, okay? The tomato soup can, you know what I'm saying? They're giving them an opponent, all right? You see this a lot in boxing, right? You got a prospect that's got good hands, big power, and, they throw him a guy who's, tough and likes to scrap, but really doesn't have much of a chance as far as skill versus skill. And once in a blue moon, you'll see the crazy upset. Not here. Not in the UFC. Not here. Malcolm Wellmaker is a slick and talented striker with a very special gift of timing and really nice reflexes, too. Seems to have good reads on his punches, strikes at a high level. I see his potential is insanely high, whereas Kris Moutinho is like a good dog brawler, right? Tough from the southpaw stance, will switch up stances, close the gap, look to brawl, gets hit a lot, got hit a lot in his UFC career. He's 0-2 in the UFC. Yes, he's on a tear, and I've been singing his praises. I respect the man that dreams of getting back to the UFC after getting released and puts in the work, but the opposition level versus Malcolm, well, stop. Okay, he had the Cupcake Campbell's rematch, which I'm happy he avenged the loss, but, Campbell's past it. Elijah Harris, 6-7, 6-3, Jay Presley. Matthias Silva was an okay Brazilian prospect, to be fair, at 8-2. And then Journeyman Castillo, who's like, 16-21 now, I think. It should be a Malcolm Wellmaker impressive knockout because Moutinho is just way too available to be hit. He closes the gap. He lacks head movement. He took a lot of shots from Sean O'Malley, but O'Malley doesn't sit on his shots like Wellmaker. No. And even the fight that he lost way back in the UFC, I got to pull up the damn fight. Italian name, Guido Canetti. Yeah, the Argentine Italian name. I think that Moutinho was rocked bad on the feet. And even though people said, oh, early stoppage, he was out on his feet, though. He was getting cracked. And if you're getting hit by him, Malcolm Wellmaker is going to land a lot. And sure, Moutinho's gotten better, but he's not winning this fight striking. He needs to wrestle. And Wellmaker has shown good wrestling defense. And we've seen some wrestling in previous fights. And he's gone 5 rounds before, so gas tank woes aren't too much of a worry for me. I'm going to pick Malcolm Wellmaker, who's a minus 2,000 favorite, but I do predict that he goes out there and gets a KO. There's Kris Moutinho. To be honest, man, tell me that's like not a parallel universe as Sean O'Malley that went 0-2 to start the UFC career. Are you telling me it's not it? It always felt like it was. Hey, we got Sean O'Malley at home. You know what I'm saying? That's Moutinho's vibe. And then we got Wellmaker looking like a savage, ready for warfare. This is his first fight not also having a full-time job as a welder. Come on, bro. Come on. There's the face-off. You can see Wellmaker a good amount taller. They listed what? 5'10" to 5'7". I mean, it looks like at least 5'9" to 5'7". Wellmaker's clearly larger. Even look at Moutinho's physique, bro. Looks like Nate Diaz at best with a little bit of the pot belly. Moutinho's a dog, man. He's a tough son of a bitch. He's a good brawler. He's a good journeyman. He's a dominant guy in the Massachusetts regional scene. When you get to the big show and you fight a prospect like this, there's a reason he's a fucking minus 2,000 favorite in Malcolm Wellmaker. And yeah, I think that Malcolm's going to knock him out. Odds for the fight, terrible. So Moutinho's plus 1,000 as an underdog. Crazy odds here. But yeah, it should be a Wellmaker domination, destruction. It shouldn't be close. It probably should end in the first round. At worst, the first 2 rounds. Wellmaker by KO, I think, is a lock. It's around minus 350, minus 250. I think Wellmaker spread would also probably be a lock. I don't see his fight as close. And it's minus 1,000 for him to dominate the fight. I think Malcolm Wellmaker, KO round 1, minus 115. I feel like KO round 1 is very likely. If Moutinho makes it to the second round, big success. If Moutinho makes it to the third, crazy success. If he goes all 3, bro, it's like a real life Rocky story. It's just not going to happen. So the pick is Malcolm Wellmaker to handle business against the gritty, the tough, but ultimately the journeyman, Kris Moutinho. Wellmaker stays undefeated. Next fight on the card, we have Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee. I've been picking Michael Chiesa all week. Nothing is changing, man. Court McGee can wrestle a bit and, still got a bit of boxing, which, like, it makes you worry a little, like, oh, Chiesa's the former lightweight, McGee's the former middleweight. I've been saying this shit all week. But my mind just says Chiesa's going to be way faster if they hit the mat, like way better at jiu-jitsu, way slicker. Live for a submission threat. He could outmuscle even the aging Court McGee. I think it's Michael Chiesa's fight, bro. I've been watching Court McGee since Tough, bro. I watched Tough 11 as a young little kid all the way back in 2010, bro. Do you understand? I've been watching this game a damn long time, all right? And I remember this season like it was fucking, the sledgehammer tree and shit. Wow. That's easy. Tavares fucking gets subbed up, and then Chris McRae, who doesn't do anything with his career. Wow. Seth Baczynski. It's crazy looking back. Tough 11 will always have a special place in my heart, man. That was a season I really locked into. I watched 10 and then 11 hardcore. So looking at it, man, damn. Respect to the OG and Court McGee. But bro has been, fighting in this game since the early days of my fandom. And I've been a fan for a long time now. So I think ultimately the time has come. Court McGee, 11-12 in the UFC. He's 1-3 in his last 4. I mean, in 2022, beating Brahimaj is impressive, but he's slowed down since then. He took 2 bad KO losses. He didn't look great against Alex Morono, but he looked tough. Easily subbed Tim Means, but Tim Means was also 40 at the time, 41 now. Come on, bro. Michael Chiesa looked really good in his last fight. And obviously, yeah, with Tony Ferguson, he just took him down quick. Yeah, and he destroyed him in a second. Like, 2 straight wins, 2 straight finishes. I have to say, Chiesa by submission is not a crazy call, especially against an aging Court McGee. But notably, Court McGee's takedown and submission defense is crazy good. Look, never submitted as a pro. I lean towards Chiesa decision as the official pick. If old man Court McGee pulls something out, wouldn't that be fucking something? Still looks decent, though. Still looks in solid shape. Still looks fit. Respect to Court McGee. He's been doing this shit literally forever, it feels like. Holy hell. And then on the other side, you got Chiesa looking shredded up, ready to go. Looks like a full-fledged, UFC welterweight, to be fair. Let's bring up the face-offs between the two, okay? Let's get the face-offs cooking up. Let's feel the energy of the face-off. Chiesa looking, I don't know, kind of Uriah Faber-like with the backwards hat. Like he's still surfing and skateboarding and shit on the weekends. But you know what? He's a young savage at 37, all right? Especially in this matchup. McGee staring him right down. Like, McGee don't wilt. McGee's tough. Like, I respect McGee's grit factor. He's been doing this literally forever, man. But no, it's Chiesa's time. 3 years age difference and the damage that we've seen McGee take over recent years. I'll go Chiesa to win. I think he finds a way. Do I want to go minus 350? No, fuck no, I don't. But if you are, I'm not telling you, oh, you're going to lose for sure. It's just Chiesa being this wide. I don't know. But something tells me McGee's going to look really slow. And we're like, all right, Chiesa was an obvious no-brainer. Plus 285 for McGee. It's just because the stylistic matchup, right? McGee's a good grappler. McGee can still box a little bit. Chiesa's boxing is kind of weh. Looks awkward. But ultimately, it's effective. And his jiu-jitsu is very good. If Chiesa submits Court McGee, it's a big feather in his cap. If he goes out there and wins a dominant decision, I think that's more likely. Chiesa by decision is plus 120. I will predict Chiesa wins this fight on the judges' scorecards. But submission, he's the first guy to submit. It's only plus 200. It's not even worth your fucking while. The betting on this fight is just not interesting to me. You got minus 350, Chiesa as the pick. You got a 40-year-old underdog in Court McGee. Neither side calls my name. I think the fight is live to go over 2.5 at minus 160. But am I crazy about that? Absolutely not. I got to take another sip of this shit. I'm not. I'm not crazy about it. Not in the slightest bit. Right? I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, this fight, let me sit on the fucking sidelines and watch. Let's see if Michael Chiesa can nab another sub up. Let's see if he can be the first guy to tap McGee. Let's see what McGee's got left in the tank. A little tough 11 alumni. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, either way, Chiesa, Dubsky. Let's go. Let's keep on running up the card. Our next fight brings us to our featured prelim of the night, and I feel like I'm jumping up with joy and anticipation. Paul Craig, Rodolfo Bellato. I'm going to spoil this. The face-off added the intensity to this fight, and it was also hilarious. We'll get into it in a second. The pick between these two has obviously been Bellato all week, and since they were booked the first time. When Bellato, I guess he had herpes, they said. It was maybe staph, but it was misunderstood as herpes. Whatever. We'll go with the first story because it's funnier. I think Bellato will knock Paul Craig out. Come on, guys. Come on. Paul Craig's got a nice body kick, sure, but he's hittable over the top. Doesn't bring his hands up to his face that well. He kind of keeps his hands low a bit. Early in his UFC run, he was getting chinned a lot. I think now it's looking like the next chinning is coming against another heavy-handed Brazilian. We saw Johnny Walker at light heavyweight do it a few years ago. I just think Paul Craig dropping that weight, going down to 85. He went 1-3 there. He's lost 3 in a row. He's lost 5 of his last 6. He went on a roll, all right? For a few years, he was a bad man. Beat Jamal Hill, beat Nikita Krylov, and then even early in the UFC career, somehow beating Magomed Ankalaev with that slick jiu-jitsu. But he ain't going to win this one. I think Paul Craig is past his best days. I think his confidence is down a bit. I don't know where his body's at with the fluctuation in weight after, dropping down to 85 for about 2 years and now moving up in weight, going back up to 205 and fighting a big, strong Brazilian man. Rodolfo Bellato, tough pressure, strong punches, power puncher, brawler, but also rips some heavy low kicks, holds his base well. Kind of just a nice Brazilian scrapper in this one here. And obviously, Bellato hasn't looked sensational. The Potieria fight, he got caught with some shit on the feet for sure. But Potieria is a slicker boxer than Paul Craig. Styles make the fights. And then ultimately, last fight against Jimmy Crute, he pulls Jimmy Crute on top, gets fucked up in the first round, did get dropped as well on the feet. Will to win is crazy, survives, wins the second and third, and then forces a draw. So Rodolfo Bellato definitely has the grit and the want to win. That is something that I like to see in fighters, like when you're backing them with a pick, especially as a big favorite. Like, Bellato's not giving up on himself. Paul Craig doesn't have a wrestling advantage. Yes, his jiu-jitsu is slick, but he's going to take Bellato down? Is he? I'm not so sure about that. I think Bellato's takedown defense holds up. I think Bellato lands big punches on Paul Craig's face. I think Craig gets hit hard, and I think he wilts. I think he's getting knocked out. I think Rodolfo Bellato's getting a KO. I'm going Bellato by knockout. I expect him to bring some pressure to Paul Craig. Maybe late first round knockout. Could be into the second, but I definitely think first round is live too. After, maybe a minute or two of feeling out, Bellato's going to find the range and then blitz. And I think Paul Craig is going to be really uncomfortable in boxing range. Yeah, from, long range, throwing kicks and moving, Paul Craig looks all right. Bro, he got kickboxed up by Bo Nickel last time. Bellato's got big power edge. Come on. The pick is the big, strong Rodolfo Bellato to beat Paul Craig, okay? And I think he's going to knock him out. He looks pretty strong and big on the damn scale. Looks in solid shape here. Paul Craig, bro, he looks old. He looks past his prime. Even the muscularity, bro, that dropped down to 85. I think he lost size. We'll bring up the face-off between the two. And the energy was actually fucking sick at the face-offs. They got intense. First thing that was funny though is Paul Craig's trying to rip his shirt. He didn't cut a tear in before, so he's failing ripping the shirt as he's getting on the scale. Botched by Craig there. And then he just gets intense right in Bellato's face, but Bellato holding his ground, staring nose to nose. This is one of those, the newer generation versus the older type of fights. And I just think Bellato looks supremely confident. Even the way he's looking Paul Craig in the eyes, this is a man that believes in his skills, bro. That's aura. Bellato's a lock. He's going to destroy Paul Craig. I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked if Paul Craig pulls some crazy shit out at this point. This Paul Craig, no. Paul Craig 5 years ago that beat Nikita Krylov, we're having a different conversation. That's a different Paul Craig, bro. Paul Craig has not really looked that good since the win over Krylov in 2022. Granted, it wasn't 5 years ago. It was like 3 years and 3 months ago. But still, it's been a while since he's looked good. And being 1-5 in his last 6 fights, definitely not a good look. And, I think odds are that Rodolfo Bellato adds to the L streak 1-6 over his last 7 and 4 losses in a row. This could be Paul Craig's last dance. I got a feeling that it might be. I think he's getting caught with big shots and knocked out here. So the pick is Rodolfo Bellato to do big damage. Odds for the fight, Bellato -405. Like I said, I think he's a lock city, to be honest with you. Plus 305 for Paul Craig. Bellato's been a confident pick for me all week, and nothing is changing here. Let's see. Over 1.5 -120. I mean, it's live to over 1.5, but I do think Bellato KO earlier is definitely a possibility. Under 2.5 -285 makes sense. Bellato to win by knockout around -150, -130. That makes a lot of sense. Let's see. What's his Bellato spread? Bellato spread -225 if he just dominates the fight, which I think he gets a finish. Over 33, over 35.5. Does he? He might need less than that. It's -115. Paul Craig land 19. He might not. I don't even like those for this one. I don't know. Sometimes I like to look and see if anything like that catches my eye, but nah, I don't think so. Bellato most significant strikes 4-1. So yeah, it's a Bellato fight. I think Bellato destroys Paul Craig. Probably finishes him in the first 2. What is first, second round KO? It could be later, but I lean first 2. Bellato first 2 -135. Not great. Better than, better than -405. But for me, I'd rather go 2 confident leg parlay as opposed to chasing. But I do think knockout or inside distance for Bellato is not a terrible line. It's been around like -275. I think Bellato finish. I think the fight goes under 2.5. And I think Bellato wrecks Paul Craig. So the pick in the feature prelim, Bellato all day. Next fight. It brings us to our main card opener. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure you hit the subscribe button too. Alonzo Menifield versus Oumar Sy. My pick is Oumar Sy, guys. Come on. I can't go with the wild brawler in Alonzo Menifield. That Julius Walker performance was bad. Ultimately, Walker's an okay prospect, 6-0, strong, good pressure wrestling, good control in the clinch. But Menifield, he hasn't looked good in a while since that Jacoby fight where he dropped Jacoby late and kind of had a comeback to win that decision. Oumar Sy is a slick and tactical striker, but he's also a really gnarly grappler. He's got really strong jiu-jitsu. He's got good back takes. The submission threat is live. He's a 7-1 favorite. It's not like I got to sit here and sell you on, oh, well, Oumar Sy, oh my God. Yeah, he probably should destroy Alonzo Menifield, but I do think that Alonzo, I don't know, man. Something seems off now. I feel like it's not that he's old that he's fallen off. I just think something's not clicking. That fight against fucking Carlos Ulberg was the worst decision-making ever. He gets knocked out in 12 seconds. Then Mirzakhanov chins him. Then the hard 3 against Julius Walker. Now they give him Oumar Sy. Oumar Sy's a good talent. I mean, coming in, submitting Tokos. Tokos is not good, but still, he beat Tokos by sub. I think it's impressive that he, goes out there and gets a finish. And I think that's something you got to respect. Like, Tokos is known for grappling. And Sy to go out there and sub him up, I don't think that's a bad look at all. And then the next fight after that, Da Woon Jung decision. Okay, he went distance with Da Woon Jung, but let's also mention the fight before Menifield and Ulberg. Da Woon Jung gave Carlos Ulberg a run for his money in that fight. And then we saw the murder that took place, the destruction that took place. Sorry, the murder? What? What did I say? The destruction, the fucking big damage. We saw the one shot, the quickness. Bro, Oumar Sy should dominate. How does he dominate? Striking from distance is better. Threatens with high kicks a lot. I think you could take Alonzo Menifield down. I think you could take Alonzo Menifield's back. I really think Oumar could submit Alonzo. Alonzo's submission defense is pretty fair. I mean, look at that. Never submitted as a pro. But Oumar Sy's got those long limbs. He's got that good rear naked choke. There's a possibility that Sy is getting a finish of Menifield. I could see Menifield getting gassed out by Sy's pressure in the clinch, wearing on him, and then eventually getting him down, taking his back, and locking up a submission. So the call is Oumar Sy. Yes, it should be one-way traffic. There's Oumar Sy on the scale. Looks pretty shredded up, in good shape. He's an 11-year-old prospect to watch, training at American Top Team. I mean, the hype is pretty good on the kid, and for a reason. He's got the fucking frame to take this shit far. He's got that John Jones wingspan nearly. You know what? Alonzo Menifield looks all right. He looks pretty jacked. Definitely shredded. Definitely coming in shape. Definitely coming to throw big, wild punches. But I think Oumar Sy is too tactical for the big, wild shit. And you can see the side-by-side as they faced off. Oumar Sy, a bit taller, a good amount longer. I think he handles Alonzo Menifield. I think he could take Menifield down and submit him, man. I really think there's a possibility that Oumar Sy shows levels in the grappling and showcases an impressive finish. But if it was striking, I think Sy's more tactical. I think he's cleaner with straight shots. I think he could work good kicks to the body and then threaten with high kicks, wearing on Menifield's arm. And Menifield, he likes to throw big power bombs in close, and sometimes he even likes to throw a weird standing hammer fist. He's got good explosiveness, but I don't think he finishes Oumar Sy here. I'm going to pick Oumar Sy to handle business against Alonzo Menifield and continue to move up the ranks. Minus 700 for Oumar Sy, Alonzo Menifield plus 500 as a massive underdog. Odds are wide as hell for this fight. Over 1.5, minus 165. I mean, maybe, but you're also playing with fire. Sy by submission, not great, plus 145. The spread on Sy, let's see. Oumar Sy spread, minus 310. I do think he gets the spread hitting. Sy over 1.5 takedown, minus 115. If Sy lands one takedown, he could get the finish. So is it guaranteed he lands two? No, it's why that is sitting at that. 38.5 significant strikes. I don't love it. 5.5. Nothing catching my eye with that, man. No. I'm going to say Oumar Sy live to dominate this fight. I think ultimately method of victory is tricky because Sy could catch Menifield and then finish him with punches or ground and pound. But the rear naked choke threat is live. It's just Menifield never been submitted before. Is Sy the first one to do it? And if you're on the betting side, you're gambling at, not even like plus 300 for the first time to submit somebody. I never really liked that. But I do think Oumar Sy could take the back of Alonzo Menifield. I do think he can get the rear naked strangling. I'm going Oumar Sy to get the win, and I think he'll look pretty good. Like I said, I mean, method of victory, I lean towards the decision side, I guess. I want to pick submission, though. I do. I want to. He might get a knockout, though. I don't know. I'm going to say this. I'm going to go Sy real live to finish, but it could go over a round and a half, and Menifield could survive a bit. But you have to worry with Menifield's fight IQ. He can get crazy and wild. He's there to be hit, and Oumar Sy seems to have all the makings of a prospect to keep an eye on. So I'm going with 11-0 in this fight here. I'm going with Oumar Sy to dominate. Next fight on the card, we have Cody Brundage versus Monsieur Abdul-Malik. Of course, I've been picking Monsieur Abdul-Malik all week. I mean, probably what most of you are doing. I think Malik wins, and I do think he can finish Cody Brundage. But I will say, I mean, there's a chance that Brundage could get Malik down early and win the early wrestling exchanges, but then fade a bit later. And then if we got like over 1.5, Malik could get like a late second round finish. But you're playing with fire. That over 1.5 is, live to hit, I would say. But I also feel as though we've seen Brundage wilt under the pressure, and I'm not convinced those, have necessarily changed. Like I could see Malik tying up with Brundage, winning the clinch battle, nasty knees to the body. Brundage like absolutely hating it. Big elbow hits him in the face, and then Brundage goes down and gets TKO'd with ground and pound. There's definitely a chance that Malik like melts Cody Brundage fairly early in the fight. But if you look at some recent wins for Malik, you have to be like, okay, there's a chance this fight could last gassed a bit. Nick Klein gave him some trouble early last fight, and then obviously he beat him down later. The UFC debut destroyed Todorovic, but to be honest, I think that Brundage would beat Todorovic. And then fight before that against Wes Schultz, kind of a back and forth fight early, and then late, Malik outdogs him and finishes him. So, maybe Brundage could find early success in the fight, land a couple takedowns, win some exchanges, but then slowly but surely Malik wears him down. You got to worry about Brundage getting melted with like one big shot to the body and then an elbow to the face in the clinch. I think Malik from long range is going to have a big advantage. I see him landing teeps to the body of Brundage. I see him landing straights. I think Malik is definitely getting it done inside of the distance. I lean towards, the ground and pound KO TKO side, but there's a possibility that he could find the sub on a Brundage as well. Looking at the scales and checking them out, how these guys look. Malik, he's having too much fun out there, makes the weight. He had a couple attempts, but still, comes in and pulls it off. And he looked energized. He didn't look like a dead man. And then Brundage, I'll be honest, bro. The aura of Brundage with the facial hair has jumped a good 20%. But I think that not this fight. Not this fight here. This is one of those matchups where I think he struggles, dude. I think Mansour Abdul-Malik is too relentless. It's going to be hard to put Mansour away. Brundage, like I said, dangerous early, but slows down a bit. And Malik's going to be relentless. Both guys, good wrestling backgrounds and stuff, but I feel like you have to favor the side of the dog in Malik that he's shown. Whereas, I guess Cody Brundage showed some dog, but he was also in a back-and-forth war last fight with Julian Marquez. I think that the side of Mansour Abdul-Malik finds the finish. We're going Malik to get it done. I think, TKO. It's 8-1, though. So, we're not talking like, oh, man, Malik gets it done, bro. I got a crazy take. Another one. These odds are crazy wide, but there's still fights, Like it comes fight analysis here, and then odds is the secondary portion, right? It's not like the fight doesn't take place. Yes, Malik should melt Cody Brundage inside of the distance. If you think it goes over 1.5, if you're feeling like, you know what, Brundage got a lot of UFC experience. We've seen Malik go a little bit later. I think Brundage could put up a fight. Plus 170. You can find value on that tag. Now, Malik to win the fight inside distance, minus 550. Whoa! Nothing there. Nothing there at all. Malik KO, minus 325. Let's see. Malik, oh my God. To dominate is still minus 525. Brundage, one takedown for Brundage, plus 300. It's not insane. I'm not telling you to do this, but it's not insane if Brundage lands one takedown. If I had to pick, like this is for, the folks out there going for crazy shit, maybe, you got this Brundage over half a take. Does he? Maybe at plus 300, it's live. It's possible. I think Malik could land a takedown as well. Malik over 20.5 significant strikes. This all comes down to how long does the fight last. I think both of them are live to hit the over in significant strikes, but this might come back to bite me in the ass. This is D-Gen Mystic Mac shit. Bringing it over here. Sorry, you couldn't see the odds for a second. Plus 300 there. I say this. If you want to be a D-Gen, this is live. This is live. This is live. And to be honest, so is the Malik landing over half a takedown live. But the pick is Abdul-Malik to win and Abdul-Malik to finish all day. When you get into the nitty-gritty of significant strikes and takedowns, you're playing with wildfire. But I know some of you guys like that shit, so I wanted to at least, read it off. And then, I think Malik definitely finishes, to be honest. But if he was to win a decision, it is plus 800. If there's anybody out there who's like, yo, I'm thinking decision. Decision's calling my name, bro. If decision's calling your name, well, it's sitting there calling your name. Now I'm thinking, what size decision? If you stick around for everything, you'll know size decision. Now I'm just curious. I'm going back on one. It's only plus 250. Okay. I thought maybe that was like plus 700 too. No, it's not. I'm going to say Mansour Abdul-Malik gets the TKO win, probably ground and pound, but live to go over a round and a half. Brundage is live to nab a takedown. Both guys are live to hit on the over in the significant strikes. And yeah, I think Malik with the finish. Dominant performance. I'd expect one. Let's go. Let's keep running up the card. Next fight on it, we have Cody Garbrandt versus Raoni Barcelos. I'm picking Cody Garbrandt. I don't care. I've been picking on. I don't care, bro. I get it. Oh, Cody, man, he's having a midlife crisis, man. Cody this. Dog, He's not even 34 yet, all right? He's 3 weeks shy of 34. Hani Barcelos is 38. Like, the hype was gone on Barcelos. Like, everybody forgets 4 months ago, 5 months ago nearly. He was a huge underdog. And then he dominates Peyton Talbot in wrestling, an area where we saw Talbot struggle in his UFC debut and then obviously overcame it. Barcelos was hitting him with takedown at will. Takedown, takedown, takedown. There was no resistance from Talbot. You tell me Garbrandt's getting dogged like that in wrestling? And Talbot still had striking moments. And Barcelos didn't find the sub there. It's like, I don't believe the Cody Garbrandt is definitely done at this level type of thing. Like, okay, top 15? No, I don't think he's top 15. But is he not top 25 in the world still? Cody Garbrandt's got lightning fast hands. When he's on, he still cracks. He was still hitting Davis and Figueiredo in the face. Yeah, he got subbed up and grapple fucked in that fight. And it was a bad performance. He got dog walked in that fight. But when Cody's on one, his hands are really sharp. His footwork is crazy. He's got power. He could land a counter hook here. I definitely could see him landing big punches, backing Barcelos up and looking quick. I could see him melting Barcelos. Barcelos has offensive wrestling, but Cody Garbrandt normally has good takedown defense. And he's also hard to hit takedowns. Now Barcelos is going to walk him down and just dog him in wrestling. Barcelos more of the, Brazilian Muay Thai style, where Cody Garbrandt has that more elusive boxing base. I think Cody No Love is live to win this fight. I'm going to pick Cody Garbrandt. I think he could land some thunderous combination strikes. I think he could potentially hurt Hani Barcelos in this fight and maybe even get a knockout. I think Cody's going to win. I think Cody's going to make it a hell of a fight, and I feel like people are going to be like, oh, shit, okay, Cody Garbrandt's still got something left. I don't think he's washed. I'm not ready to say he's washed. He's 33. On the opposite side, Barcelos 38. Everybody was thinking he was washed recently. But now it's like, oh, Barcelos, he is that prospect. He's the OG. Bro, at one point, he was the prospect that never was. He was supposed to be the next Jose Aldo. I remember the hype. And then it never happened. He lost to Valiev. He lost to Victor Henry. And now it's like, okay, well, he's a lock against Garbrandt. I don't see it. I don't think so. I don't think Barcelos is all that. He's a strong wrestler, but I think Cody Garbrandt can stop takedowns, land big shots, and I think he can beat Hani Barcelos. I'm picking Cody No Love. When there's a will, there's a way. And I think that he digs deep and pulls through. Barcelos there. The neck is always to the side because of a surgery he had that didn't fuse properly, like the neck surgery he had. So he's like always to the side a little bit. Really interesting. Really interesting. And then Cody No Love on the other side, looking like a slick savage. Cody No Love looking ready for war. He's got his hair slicked back. I think Cody still got it. He's in shape. It's not over, Just because when I say still got it, does it mean, oh shit, 3 fights and a title shot? No. But I do think it means he can beat Hani Barcelos, but I won't lie to you. Cody Garbrandt looks like a straight street thug, bro. Holy shit. Looked like he was just released from the penitentiary 4 days ago, all right? Tuesday, he got out. He got the beard lined up last night. He got the hair braided on fucking Wednesday. And now he's ready to go out there and bang with this Brazilian cat. I think Barcelos is getting chinned, man. I think Cody Garbrandt's hands are going to look fast and powerful. The pick is going to be Cody No Love to find a way. He does look like a created fighter in UFC, though. If you played any of the UFCs ever, you definitely made something that looks like this at least once. This is at least one time this was your guy. And now it's Cody Garbrandt in real life. I think that the creative fighter Garbrandt with the eye tattoo and shit brings some heat. I think he wins. I'm going Cody No Love. I'm not lacking faith. No Love. Plus 205. The odds are spreading wider. Wow. Plus 205 for Cody No Love. No faith in No Love. He gets no love now. Minus 240 Barcelos. At open, Barcelos was minus 155. So odds were a lot closer. Now they've spread. Spread wide. Let's see. Over 2.5, minus 130. Garbrandt KO plus 300. I'm not doing this, but I'm just mentioning it. Garbrandt decision plus 425. I would just go Garbrandt money line if I'm going to bet Garbrandt. Just to tell you, if you're on the side of Barcelos, I wish you luck. Good luck. We'll see if he wrestles him up. But I think Cody No Love, most significant strikes, plus 250. I think he's live to do it. Yeah, Barcelos probably most takedowns. Garbrandt, over 36.5 significant. I think that's a live. Minus 150. I think that's live. The spread on Garbrandt, minus 175. He can win at least a round. I think he's winning this fucking fight. Fuck just a round. I'm going Cody Garbrandt to get it done. I think he beats Honey Barcelos. I think it's knockout a decision. I think the hands are still quick. I think he's going to have some stinging pop and pretty good combinations. And I think that we're going to see Cody Garbrandt. I don't want to say vintage Cody Garbrandt. Okay. I don't want to say all the way back to that because I'm thinking that Dom Cruz performance. But a Cody Garbrandt that's still got some fight left in him that you shouldn't just completely write off against guys like Honey Barcelos. Cody Garbrandt the pick, and he's an underdog, but I think this fight is a matchup he can definitely come through in. So I'm going Cody no love to get it done, and I'm giving him some love. W to Cody Garbrandt. Next fight on the card. Featured fight of the night. We got Edmen Shahbazyan versus Andre Petroski. I've been picking Edmen Shahbazyan throughout the week because I think he's a clearly better striker. Petroski is a dangerous grappler. And if Shahbazyan fumbles the bag, gets put on his back and bullied, okay, and gets wilted and melted and eventually subbed up, possible. But Shahbazyan, when he's on one, his kickboxing is terrifying. He's got nasty timing on his kicks. He's got dangerous power in his hands, good counter shot KO ability, very explosive and dynamic. Fine-tuned kickboxer for sure, but has melted in fights, has broken in fights. We've seen it time and time again. He hasn't gotten a big win since 2019 against Brad Tavares when he was a fucking kid. When he was a kid that was supposed to be on the rise in the sport, and obviously he just never lived up to the hype. But he's still real slick on the feet. He's still durable. I mean, is he durable? He melted against GM3, but he was doing big damage to GM3. Andre Petroski is on a tear right now, but he beats Josh Fremd by a decision, and Fremd is not very good, especially Shahbazyan is a different, a different level than that striking-wise. Dylan Budka, who Shahbazyan just melted, and then beating Rodolfo Vieira and defending the grappling of the high-level jiu-jitsu practitioner, impressive. But, you know, these two are both grapplers, to be fair, and this is kind of a generalist MMA style that Petroski's beaten. So 3 wins, and Vieira being a badass grappler, but ultimately 3 wins against guys that do not have dynamic and powerful striking. When you look at the loss, Jacob Malhoun fight was weird. He like ran into Malhoun's hip and went out. It was strange. And then Michel Pereira knocked him out early. I think Shahbazyan's live to knock him out early. Petroski's available to be hitting the feet. And I like Petroski. I picked him against Adolfo Vieira. Dude is an absolute menace. Jacked as hell. Strong as an ox. Strong grappling base. Looks like a fucking savage, man. He looks like the Russian experiment, bro. Dyed hair blonde. He's a Philly guy as well. And the Philly fucking fighters and the Philly sports team on fire right now. Philly's on fire. Is he about to lose the streak for Philly, though? Yeah, Pyfer win recently. Sean Brady win recently. And Sultan Riziboyev recently. And I'm sure there's others I'm not mentioning. Does he keep it alive for Philly after the Eagles pulled through? And then we got Shahbazyan, who just looks like a typical, good kickboxing nerd. That's the truth. He's a kickboxing nerd, man. Got the caved-in chest. But he's got some mass on him. Shahbazyan is a max-statted out nerd, bro. All right? Don't disrespect him, bro. And he's taking on the big savage wrestler. Does the kickboxing work here? That's what we're going to find out. Now, the picture that I got for this is a little bit zoomed out because I wanted to really go frame by frame on the battle of the fucking physical physiques and the frames, the physical frames, really. I'm saying frame every other word, but you get where I'm coming from. But from a distance, you see Shahbazyan, little bit taller, which, is a good advantage for him. Reach is going to be about 2 inches, which is not major, but longer limbs, better kickboxing from the outside, definitely a factor, and less broad shoulders, so more arm length. Counter shot ability from distance for sure, but let's zoom it in a little more. Let's zoom it in here. Now, when you look at the side-by-side of physiques, you have the strong, jacked-looking Andre Petroski that's pushing heavy-ass weight and shit. And then you have Shahbazyan, who, looks kind of like a typical kickboxer, martial artist type of thing. If Petroski is able to survive the early striking storm and gas Shahbazyan out, he's live for an arm triangle or a rear naked choke. I think for sure arm triangle. I could see him on top of Edmen Shahbazyan, a gas Shahbazyan, and just strangling him out. I could see him just grapple fucking Shahbazyan, taking him down. But if he is unable to get the early takedown and Shahbazyan's grappling defense holds up, which I predict it will, then I think Petroski is getting melted in the striking department because he's going to be too stiff, too muscle bound. He doesn't have the hand speed. Shahbazyan's fine tuned on the feet. I'm going Edmund Shahbazyan to win. There's no pick flip. I know some people are like, yo, AJ, you thinking about pick flipping? Obviously, there's a lot of Petroski love. My own brother's on Petroski, respect to him, but I'm going against it. I think that Edmund Shahbazyan can win this fight. And I think Edmund Shahbazyan get the biggest win of his life and knock out a strong grappler, but not an impressive specimen in striking, an impressive specimen physically, but not striking. Not that dangerous on the feet, kind of power, but not knocking Shahbazyan out. And I think Shahbazyan's going to have too fast of reflexes and too good timing. I think Shahbazyan's chinning him. Plus 118 Petroski, minus 138 Shahbaz, minus 240 at open. These odds are close now for Shahbazyan. It's almost like you're baited to play against the people. Oh, they're all going Petroski, the popular underdog. No love for Shahbaz. Has Shahbaz got an injury we don't know about? He looks fine. Over 1.5, minus 155. I mean, you would argue the over slightly favors Petroski, but I could see Petroski getting melted. Big body shot hurts him. Shot from Shahbazyan, and Petroski just goes down. He melted bad against Malhoun's hip, and he melted bad against Michel Pereira. Shahbazyan could definitely get a knockout here, and the odds are near even now. Knockout win for Shahbazyan. Only plus 120. Fucking just play the money line. It's stupid. Petroski sub 6-1. Let's see. Most significant strikes landed by Shahbazyan is minus 325. Okay. Interesting. Let's see. I like looking at this here. Petroski over 1.5 plus 120. If he's to win, I think he needs at least 2 takedowns. So if you think he wins, that's actually live as well. Shahbaz over 36.5. See, he doesn't need 36.5 significant strikes to win, so I actually don't like it. I'm just going to say Shahbazyan pulls through. Right now, if you had to bet this fight and you're on the Shahbazyan side, you would go Shahbazyan money line. Now, if you're on the side of Petroski, of course, Petroski money line is very live. Or if you like maybe that over 1.5 takedowns, that's live too. I think that Shahbazyan is going to find the win. I think he's live to finish Petroski. I get it. Petroski's on a roll, but ultimately, the competition level, not great. Granted, Shahbazyan's wins are not either. AJ Dobson, Dylan Budka, and Dolce Gambula. Common opponent Budka, and we saw Shahbazyan melt him. Common opponent GM3, and Petroski won a competitive-ass close back-and-forth decision. And obviously, Shahbazyan ended up getting submitted. So, fair. It's a 50-50. The odds are better now. They shouldn't have been this wide for Shahbazyan since the jump. I'll say Shahbazyan finds the TKO because I question how Petroski responds to big shots to the body and head, and I could see him getting melted. Ultimately, I think that if this fight heads into round 2 and 3, Petroski's wrestling, very worrisome for a Shahbazyan. But round 1, I expect Shahbazyan's takedown defense to hold up pretty well and him to land some big shots. And I could see that first round being a round he thrives in and knocks Petroski out. Also, we got the big cage, which is better for the distance management of Shahbazyan. He's got a lot of room to stay moving to avoid that fucking takedown. I think he will. I'm going Shahbaz for the knockout. Co-main event. The ladies going after it in the co-main event. We got Thug Rose Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick. I have been picking Thug Rose all week to outwork Miranda Maverick, technically outstrike her. We got 3 rounds. We got a big cage to do it. Maverick is probably going to look to close distance, tie up with Rose, wear on her in the clinch against the cage, try to work takedowns from there, and smother fuck Rose Namajunas, for a lack of a better term. That's the truth of it. Whereas Rose is looking to create distance, land shots from range, keep her space, stay moving, and, I think pick off good counter strikes on Maverick and out kickbox her and defend the grappling attempts from Maverick. Thug Rose is definitely the sharper striker. And Rose, I mean, she's been at the highest level for a long time. Went 5 rounds with Blanchfield, gave Furo a good 3-round fight, had a 2-fight win streak at 125 against Hebos and Tracy Cortez. I think Rose still got it. She's nearly 33. I still think she's in her prime. Obviously, Maverick being nearly 28, younger girl on the come up, riding a nice 4-fight win streak. But I don't think she was that impressive against Jamie Lynn Horth last time, to be fair. And then Horth is fighting Demop, so it makes Horth seem like such an obvious pick. I think Maverick could give Rose a fight, but I think Rose is going to be too sharp, too accurate, too clean. Her straight shots are a factor. Her kicking and specifically teeping ability is a factor. Maverick, a little too basic in the offensive striking, though I think she's got decent kickboxing. Got solid body kicks and okay straight shots that can come through.
Like Miranda Maverick, she's good. She's good. Like she's right up there in that top 10, top 12 range. But now she's looking to break into the elite caliber. We have Rose, a former dominant champion. She knocked out Wei Lee. She beat her on a decision. She's a legend of the sport. I think that Thug Rose can beat a Miranda Maverick at 125, especially because the range, man. Maverick 5'3". She's a real stocky women's flyweight. Realistically, like besides the muscle tissue, her build is more so, at least length and height wise, more so of what you would see at 115, which Rose is used to. So she's not giving up any physicality disadvantage in that area. But I will say, we're going to bring up the scales, and there is a physicality disadvantage, okay? Because Miranda Maverick, pretty thick. You don't even see it as much in this angle. You see it in the face-off in a second, but she's in really good shape. On the opposite side, Thug Rose looks like Thug Rose, typical, not so slim shady. You know what I'm saying? The typical Thug Rose look. Let's look at this face-off here. Let's look at the intensity. Let's look at the face-off here. You see the fucking arms on Miranda Maverick? Maverick is big, dude. Maverick is thick. Holy shit. Miranda Maverick is stacked. For women's MMA, I mean, shit, like that's up there. She's like a little mini Kayla Harrison, built like a damn mule. Built like a fucking mule, to be honest. She is built like a mule. I think we're going to see Thug Rose be more of the matador to the bull, though. And I do think Maverick makes it a fight. I do think this fight goes 3. I'm saying over 2.5 is really live to hit. I say decision win for Rose. I think she takes 2 out of the 3 rounds. But I expect Maverick to make it a bit of a fight with those muscles and that wrestling pressure. Her grappling game is good. Her top control is solid. Her takedowns are on point. But I think Rose can defend a majority of them, I will say, and then have bigger moments in the striking using her clear speed and technical striking advantage. So the pick is going to be Thug Rose to pick shots well and get a decision. But I will say Maverick, very impressive on the scale, intimidating, to be honest, on the scale too, and live to make it a dogfight. Live to make it a hard matchup for Rose. With the big cage, giving Rose a lot of space, I think that's a factor to get her kickboxing moving well. And I think we get a quick-footed Rose Namajunas that lands some good shots here. Minus 230 for Thug Rose, plus 195 for Miranda Maverick. I like the side of Thug Rose. I know many of you are feeling the same. I know many of you are feeling the exact same. Over 2.5 is minus 500. I think it's going over 2.5. Namajunas by decision, minus 175. That's no fun. Let's see. Namajunas most significant strikes, minus 275. My God. Over 48.5 significant, minus 115. If we go 3 rounds, what's that per round? 16? More than 16 shots around for both possible? I think this is possible to hit. I think this is possible to hit at minus 115. I think Rose spread minus, plus 120. She could lose a round. Maverick spread at minus 155 is interesting because I do think she could take a round. The Maverick spread's not a bad idea regardless of the side that you're on. If you're picking Maverick, but you're like, I don't know if I want to throw at plus 195 because she could lose, or you're on the other side with Rose, like, but I think she could lose a round. Maybe that spread is the money call to meet right in the center because I do think Maverick can nab a round, but the official pick is Thug Rose to win on the judges' scorecards. I think she gets a decision against, tough Miranda Maverick, who's got a lot of UFC experience, is very young, strong, and, her kickboxing's not bad. She's a former softball player. She's a good athlete. I just think Rose is a lot sharper. I'm going for the sharper kickbox. I think she lands straights. I think she avoids a lot of the takedowns and the clinch threats. And I think Rose's footwork and speed advantage becomes evident as they tangle. So I'm going to go Thug Rose to get the win by a decision in this fight. Next fight on the card, we have the main event of the evening. If you guys are watching and enjoying, make sure you smash the like button. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. We got Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley to close out UFC Atlanta. I'm going with Joaquin Buckley. Usman, legendary OG. I mean, dominant champion, had a great run. In his prime, nasty jab, power jab, good straight shots, iron chin, strong wrestler, insane physical condition, physically strong AF. He's 38. This is his first time fighting back at welterweight in over 2 years after the loss to Leon in the rematch, where I think, it looked like the tires were flattened a bit. He gave Khamzat a bit of a tough fight on short notice. I respect it, but he was dominated early in the fight. And then in the third round, he gave a little bit of a fight to Khamzat Chimaev for sure and made it competitive, but he still ultimately lost that fight and, was up at 85. I don't know. I thought Usman was going to do an 85 run, but it seems like now he wants to win the belt at 170. He even called out Islam Makhachev, assuming Islam's going to be champ, and then wants to fight him and then fight DDP. So he has his sights set way beyond Joaquin Buckley, which I think for a guy coming off of a 1.7 year layoff and a 3-fight losing streak, that's a little bit far-fetched. He's reaching a little bit too far. I think he should be focused on a Joaquin Buckley who's on a tear right now, who since his last fight has had 5 fights and is 5-0 in those 5 fights and on a tear in the welterweight division, showing power, showing wrestling, offense and defense. Joaquin Buckley hits hard. He's got good boxing. He rips good shots over the top. He's got explosive blitzes and power hooks. I'd say he's relatively sound defensively too. I don't know where Usman's at, man. I can't pick an Usman with a 1.7 years out because I just don't know. The knees have been having problems for years and years and years and years, and he's 38. If he was fighting often, if we saw him 6 months ago and he looked pretty good, right? He had a fight in the in-between and beat somebody that was in the top 15. It's like, okay, maybe there's more of an argument. We have more to base it off of, but I'm like, hasn't fought at welterweight in 2 years. Hasn't fought in a 1.7 years since the short notice Khamzat fight. Lost. 3-fight losing streak. Suffered that terrible knockout loss to Leon and, comeback KO after Usman looked strong early. But still, he got controlled a bit in the grappling early in that first fight, or excuse me, in that second fight too, before the trilogy. The first of the back-to-back fights between the two of them. I think Joaquin Buckley lands some significant punches here. I think he can stop the wrestling attacks. I'll be honest, I think Usman has a withered wrestling attack and less of an ability to close distance and control this fight in the clinch because of the wear and tear. And I think the timing could be a bit off because of the layoff. And you got a heavy-handed Joaquin Buckley on the other side with explosive power, knockout of the year winner. 15 knockouts is no joke. Badly knocked out Wonder Boy. Obviously, doctor stoppage with Kobe was still doing huge damage on the feet. Vicente Luque chaos, like before Luque was completely melted. But to be fair, Luque did get knocked out by Jeff Neal 2 fights before that. Former middleweight. And to be honest, you got to respect the Nasruddin Imavov fight. He was coming on strong round 3. Buckley never wilts, man. I think Joaquin Buckley is going to catch Usman with some powerful punches. Usman looks so intense at the weigh-ins, but I think he could end up looking stiff and end up looking up at the lights. I think Buckley knockout. Could it go all 3 and Usman put up a fight? Or excuse me, all 5, not all 3. Let me take it back. It could go all 5 and Usman put up a fight. I think Buckley KO. Something's just telling me he's going to find the chin. Looking at the scales between the two of them, Joaquin Buckley looked in fantastic shape. He said the energy's different. People were like, oh, it's a red flag. But then at the ceremonials, he said he can see in Usman's eyes he's not confident. He's going to knock him out. Buckley seems supremely confident, even fighting one of his idols here in this matchup here. Jack shredded Buckley, fantastic shape, absolutely primed right now, on a roll. To be fair, though, Usman looks stacked with muscle. Usman looks jacked per usual. He has not skipped a beat as far as his physicality goes. But it's not about the frame. It ain't about the physique. We know Usman's jacked. So is Buckley. It's about the matchup. I could see Usman getting caught with shots over the top, like how Gilbert Burns landed on him in his prime, but a lot worse because we got a primed Joaquin Buckley versus most likely a past this prime Kamaru Usman. I'm going to say Buckley's speed and power with his hands are going to be the ultimate difference makers. And I think he's going to land some thunderous shots on Usman's chin. I think Usman's going to look to work a long-rangey jab. I think he lands a few of them from distance, but I think Buckley makes his read, closes the gap, and starts finding big overhands. I think right overhands probably, but a possibility of the left hook as well, kind of like a longer or wider left hook landing over the top. I could see Buckley with a big barrage rocking Kamaru Usman and knocking him unconscious. I'm going to say Joaquin Buckley gets to win over the welterweight legend in this fight here. It's Buckley's time. I'm feeling it. I've been feeling it all week. I'm still feeling it after the weigh-ins. It's cool to have Usman back. And he had Ngannou walking out with him. That was badass too. But I think he's getting melted here against Joaquin Buckley. Every dog has their day, and I think this is Buckley's day. Like when Usman melted Tyron Woodley and beat him back in the day, and it was the passing of the torch. Buckley now against the aging Usman, I think he does what Woodley wishes he would have been able to do. I think he closes that gap and lands hard headshots. And I think he probably puts the lights out. So I'm going to say we got Joaquin Buckley, who's a minus 270 favorite against the legend. I do think he wins. Plus 230 for Kamaru Usman. Buckley to pull through is the official prediction. I will say knockout is live. Do you go out and chase knockout? Probably not, but I'll read it off. Knockout plus 150 if Buckley puts Usman to sleep. But note that Usman Prime had iron chin. Always was known for crazy durability. Always was known for crazy durability. I don't like none of the round props. Let's see. Buckley wins via elbow. They don't have punch, though. They have everything but a punch. If Buckley wins via kick, you got plus 900. Gets another head. Can you imagine Buckley gets like a knockout of the year contender, does another spinning kick like he did in Pakasunganai some years ago, gets a sick highlight reel. Buckley's, shown potential to take over the game for years, man. Now finally finding his footing in the UFC and looking like a legit ass contender at welterweight. Usman most takedowns, not interested. Let's see. Buckley over 76.5. It could hit if they go longer for sure, but there's a chance of the one-shot KO, so that worries me. Usman over a takedown and a half, minus 160, maybe, but his knees are botched. If Usman's to make it close, it's minus 105. If Buckley dominates or gets to finish, minus 125. I'm going to say Buckley, knockout is live. KO or decision are the two methods of victory that make the most sense. Do I have the option of KO or decision here? Can I find it anywhere? It's got to be around here. Is it right here? Yeah. Buckley, KO or decision, minus 235. I think KO or decision. Minus 235 better than minus 270, but ultimately I think the minus 270 money line is, or minus 280 now. Better call, just in case it's a fucking weird instance of something happening. Can you imagine Buckley locks a sub? I can't, to be honest. So knockout or decision, but I'll pick knockout, but decision's very live. I'm saying Joaquin Buckley is taking it home against the former champion and welterweight legend, Kamaru Usman. We got Buckley in the main. Those are the picks for UFC Atlanta, and I'm excited as hell. I'm pumped right now. I'm really excited. And also the age gap of 7 years. Come on. The primes are different, guys. Stop. It's Buckley's time. It is what it is. Now, I do want to quickly discuss the parlays, all right? So all week, you guys know about them. I drop them Tuesday, Wednesday, and this week they came out Wednesday. We got some savage ones. You got the sneaky snake in the grass at plus 7,384. You got the safe shit with Bellato and Simón looking pretty good at minus 175. But, sometimes I like to have a little post-weigh-in fun and see if off rip there's anything that's catching my eye or anything that's making me feel like, this should be the call. Is anything changing? Well, I think Phil Rowe's a great pick. I like Phil Rowe as a dog, but looking at a parlay, what about the Buckley Bellato? Just call it a safe day. Minus 139, another safe but boring. I think that's very live to hit. Buckley, Bellato, and then if you want, you go Wellmaker by knockout because Wellmaker by KO is better than playing Wellmaker money line. You're looking at around plus 140. Buckley, Bellato, Wellmaker by knockout. I think those three are most likely coming through. Little safe extra oomph to the parlay. If you think Philly Fresh is going to pull through early, now you got plus 435. You got Phil Rowe on your slate as well. Buckley, Bellato, Wellmaker, Phil Rowe, plus 434. Adding a little something. And then, if you're like, I think that Namajunas and Maverick's going over 2.5. So do I. Plus 531. I think that's got a pretty good chance of coming through as well. So to line you up with a handful of heat, that's something that I'm thinking. That's something savage that I'm thinking. Does anybody else catch my eye to put in? Then you just reach it, man. I'm trying to make like a, safer 5-leg at plus 531. Buckley, Bellato, Wellmaker wins by KO, Phil Rowe, and the over in the Namajunas fight. Plus 531, that honestly seems really live. Then you could throw in I'm going Ricky Simón plus 675, but let's take him out. I like the other leg. Oumar Sy plus 629, Malik plus 620. I mean, if you want to extend it and throw in somebody like Oumar Sy or Malik, you're not going to get a ton, but better than nothing. You get around 6-1-ish, or Simón brings you to, plus 675. But ultimately, you're still going degen mode when it's 5-1 or more, even if, it's confident legs. ultimately the safer way to play things is to throw down on some shit that is more in that minus 175 to plus maybe 165 territory to keep it sneaky savage mode. But if you threw the over in the Simón fight just for shits and gigs, you want a DGen call, plus 1194. I'll show it on screen here. Complete DGen live, the over in the Namajunas, the over in the Simón fight, Rowe, Wellmaker, KO, Bellato, Buckley. This is DGen shit. I'll tell you guys this. If you're throwing down on parlays, I recommend you guys are all doing your research, lining it up what you're thinking and what I'm thinking. If you're just throwing a couple bucks, all right, have fun with the DGen stuff. But if you're betting serious, man, I always recommend doing your own research and see where you line in with me and don't just blindly tell, because you want to give yourself the best chance of success and use me as the tool for your great success. Good luck to everybody throwing heat down. If you were just here for the breakdown, I hope you enjoyed the vibes and, the analysis of everything. UFC Atlanta is pretty stacked. I'm hyped as hell for this card. We got badass fight nights all month. June is like the UFC comeback month, and I'm feeling pretty damn good as we get to this UFC Atlanta card. Definitely let me know what you thought of the picks in the comments down below. Now, if you got nothing to say in the comments, we just enjoy the content. W in the chat to boost the algorithm for your boy. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button too. And if you're new to the channel and you haven't turned on the post notifications, what are you doing? Tune into the shows. I got lunchtime lives Monday through Friday. I'm doing live streams 6 days out of the week. Sunday's full card picks day, but every other day there's live streams on the channel. So keep it locked in with me every single day at MMA Experts with your boy AJ. I'm covering the game from all angles. All right. Much love to the people. W in the comments if you got nothing to say. I appreciate you all. I love you all. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.